Welcome to Retrologic. I'm Dan Caparello here with John Cummins. And this week we are going to chat about everything from Ninja Turtles to Metroid to other stuff. You get the idea. So some interesting changes that have come about since the last episode. Block Fort anything is now dead. There is no more Block Fort. If you look up Block Fort stuff, you're just going to get directed back to Retrologic, because Retrologic isn't just a podcast. It is a retro game store. It is a Discord community. It is Twitter. It is all the things I do now are Retrologic. So you can go to the website Retrologic.games. You can check out the store there and check out all the inventory, new stuff, weekly to bi-weekly, semi-weekly. So that's new. That's fun. I'm really excited about it because it's been a little much double branding everything, Block Fort and Retrologic, and now it is all Retrologic all the time. So praise the Lord. I'm so happy that I did that. Yeah. Also, thanks to everyone who donated to Gaming for Guru. We got an update from his mom that he's making baby steps every day towards recovery. He's still got a long way to go, but we are thrilled to hear that, and I'm sure he's going to just be elated at what the community did for him while he was out. And, just get better and get back to it soon, Bobby. We miss you, and we really just want to see more of you. So just keep him in your prayers. John, what's been going on with you, man?
Oh, not a whole lot, man. I'm glad to see you got everything moved over. I was about to say you could possibly get redirected to Mario Kart 64 also there. You got to be careful.
That's why I changed it, because I don't own the Block Fort name. Nintendo does. So at some point, when I'm 1 million followers deep, they're going to come after me. So I'm like, I better fix this problem now.
You got to get ahead of it.
You really do these days, because yeesh. I stayed up till 2 a.m. getting all that set up. It was a brutal day the next day, but I'm really glad that I ended up doing that. There's just no time for me right now, so I have to find time where I can get it. And that's where I found time. So we made it happen. Did you buy anything this week, John?
I did. I picked up a few different things. Turok 2 for the N64. I did not own this one. I have 1 and 3. And then I also made mention that I purchased the limited run versions for the Switch, the physical versions. Mm-hmm. These are ones that I meant to purchase when they originally were listed on there, and then they just recently had them in their blowout sale, so I went ahead and picked them up. It's one of those I thought that they were going to go on sale at Best Buy for a little bit less, and they never did, and they just sold out and they quit selling them. So I got lucky and picked these ones up during that sale.
Oh man, I wish I had known that they were there. I totally would have gotten that.
Oh yeah,
love me. I mean,
they were $30 a piece, but they're worth it. So
yeah,
I also got.
They did a great little reproduction N64 box and all that stuff. Yeah, it looks beautiful. I would love to grab that.
See, I also got Zelda 2, which I just seen that Jesse over at the Nintendo Dads just finished finally.
Game Boy Advance.
I got the Game Boy Advance version. Yeah, I think he was playing on NSO, but yeah, finally got the. Man, I think I'm only a few games away from owning all of these Zelda games on Nintendo consoles, like all the different versions, and I think I'm only missing a few GameCube ones, which were the ones I probably should have grabbed first because they're all outrageous now. But,
yeah, GameCube stuff right now. Yeah. Who knew?
Pretty much. Yeah, it's like I don't think I have Twilight Princess for the GameCube. And maybe the Master Collection or whatever, the one that had Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, those Master Collections are not super expensive, but Twilight Princess is going to set you back.
Yeah, they're like 50 or $60.
50 for a GameCube game though is nowadays that's like normal-ish.
Yeah,
so
I've seen a 1,000 Year Door is now $100 for a complete.
Yeah, easy. Chibi Robo's up there.
Oh man, yeah.
Just all the kind of obscure stuff. Even Kirby's Air Ride is getting into like $60-$70 range now.
Yeah, which I also don't have.
Crazy.
I missed out on a lot of GameCube games.
But Twilight Princess, I think, is like 150. I want to say it's up there.
Yeah, I might have to pass on that one. I already own it on the Wii and the Wii U, so I think I'm covered.
Yeah.
But if I want the complete, I'll have to get it one day. It's one of those deals.
It's all in your hands.
Yep. So
what else you got for me?
I also picked up Pro Wrestling on the NES, Tennis on the NES, and Slalom on the NES. These are all the 5-screw. I didn't have them, so I was like, yeah, I'll take those.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the last time I played Slalom, but I remember my cousin had this one and we played it. I just don't remember very much of it. It's probably not as fun as I remember.
Now, are the 5-screws, are those the ones that have the Famicom conversion block in the cartridge?
You know, I'm not
you know what I'm talking
sure.
About?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure. I know that they're the original design of the cartridge, but I'm not sure. I've heard some of them do, just because they were the earliest ones and they were being played on Famicoms to begin with.
The only reason I remember when I worked at a retro game store like 10 years ago. It was a local place. He would make me open every Blackbox NES game that we got to check for the conversion kit, because those are pretty rare now.
I might have to open them up and look. I'm not 100% sure now, but I try to
because you basically get the
I try to buy the 5-screw when I can, when they're available.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good call.
But
anyway, that's a whole tangent.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, these are just some of the. I'm going back and kind of filling in some of my NES collection that I don't have anymore. I don't even know what happened to it. So slowly but surely, been building back, getting all the black box, and then getting all the ones that I like to play. So the black box ones are all cheap right now. So they're like $5 a piece. So when I see the 5-screws, I snatch them up. But that's all I picked up. I didn't really have a whole lot of gaming time this last week. So I think I played like an hour of Celeste, and that's about it. It was one of those where it was what I was playing when I put my Switch to sleep. So I turned it on and I was like, oh yeah, I was in the middle of this. So I played for like an hour. And then beat that chapter and then put it back up. So it's one of those deals. And then one more thing I'll touch on, because I don't know where else we would talk about it at, but I got a free arcade 1-up cabinet from my brother. That was a non-working unit. It was the Asteroids, the 4-in-1 cabinet. I can't remember what all it had on it, but it had a few different games included in it. And the box just said monitor not working on it. So I started digging and found out that the PCB was dead, so it couldn't power for one. There's something wrong with the powering of the unit, and because I bought a new power supply, I didn't fix it. So then my next thing was to see what else was wrong with it. I bought a conversion board to change it to a HDMI connection, so I could run basically anything off the monitor that I wanted to. And so I hooked my Super Nintendo Classic up to it and played some Super Metroid for like 5 minutes on my 1-up arcade monitor. So that's all working fine. So basically the PCB just died completely. And now, since that has been solved, I'm just going to turn it into a Retrologic arcade cabinet that plays everything. So
that's awesome.
It's like I could replace the PCB with one off eBay for Asteroids, but who wants to play just Asteroids? It's not that fun.
No, it's not. But yeah, dude, that's great. I'm gonna work on some art for that, and then we'll have to get some pictures up on Twitter and Discord when that's finally complete. But that's quite a project you got going out there. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, of course. I was talking before the show. I'm gonna have to buy all new sticks, buttons, everything. I had to buy a new top control board for the control panel to accept the sticks and the buttons, because the one for Asteroids just has 2 buttons and the dial. So it's like,
oh my gosh.
I was like, I can't play too many arcade games with the dial.
No, but having a dial there are some games that you need a dial for. So I don't know if you can like have both or.
It just depends. I'll have to wire in the original controls into what I have coming in.
I mean, how are you gonna play Kaboom without a dial? I mean, let's get real here.
Very carefully. No, yeah. I'll have to have the dial for some things, but I might just set it off to the side and I can just swap them out when I need them. But I don't know, there's a lot less games that require the dial than the control sticks.
Oh, so. Totally. I mean, I'm half messing with you, but there's got to be some modular solution where like you just plug in what you need or so, you know what I mean? I don't know a lot about modern home arcade stuff, but somebody's got to have something like that. You know what I mean? You got a ball controller, you have the knob, you have sticks and buttons.
I'm not going to be playing any Golden Tee or what else use the ball? Is it
Marble Madness? Hello. Yeah. No, listen.
Yeah, I might have
to do that. all the other ball games, Centipede, none of that. Marble frickin' Madness is what you need the ball for. That game's amazing with the ball.
It is, but it's so much harder with the ball too at the same time.
Well,
like, the NES version is to me is the way to go. I mean, I like the
that's
arcade
really
version.
cool.
It's fun, but it's definitely harder to control for me.
That's really cool about the getting a Retrologic arcade machine.
Yes.
Maybe that's something at some point we can have in our merch store, which is coming soonish.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. So I bought a few things this week. None of them are video games, but I'll tell you about them anyway. I bought a 16 lot of vintage early 90s Ninja Turtles action figures. This was an emotional purchase. I've been doing those lately. When I'm feeling sad, I buy action figures. This is what I've learned about myself in 2021 because I got those Sonic figures last week, and now I'm buying vintage Ninja Turtle figures because I'm sad.
I guess we'll have to see what you buy when you're mad.
Well, yeah, I don't get mad very often, but so those are coming in. I'm really excited about those. I think I'm going to do an unboxing stream. I'm just kind of pulling out one by one and talk about it because those figures are a huge part of my childhood that were kind of ripped away from me when my house burned down when I was 6. Never had the lunchbox. I know you're pulling out your lunchbox and I'm jelly, but I never had the lunchbox. Just tons of figures.
Maybe I'll ship that Dreamcast inside that lunchbox and just send it over. Yeah,
do it. Yes. That'll be a great gift. My birthday's in April. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh, there you go.
So that was a cool get. I'm really excited about getting those in the mail. I got an NES controller for a system that needed it to sell. And I got a Diddy Kong Smash Amiibo for a great price. Diddy Kong's like a $25 Amiibo now for some reason, and I got one for $15. And I needed to complete my Donkey Kong Amiibo set. So, I'm happy about that.
I don't have any of those. You see all these back here? No Donkey Kong ones. I don't know why.
Well, just it's your loss, really, because Donkey Kong is the best character.
Well, it is now because they're hard to get.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. That was it for me. I also didn't play anything but Super Metroid this week, and even that was like 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Just not a lot of time this week. Not really anything I'm super jonesing to play either. I've got a little bit of a backlog. So maybe I should try to find some time this week between weddings and watching children. Anywho, that being said, let's jump into some prices retro. So, if you've never played Prices Retro, here's how it works. I'm going to list 4 or 5 games, and that is my lot. And you have to guess what that lot is worth. All the games individually based on Pricecharting.com's current value. And I'm going to tell you what system it's for and whether it's loose or complete in box and all that, and you have to guess. John's going to guess. You can guess at home, and then let me know how close you got on Twitter at Retrologic.games on Twitter. That is the gist of it. We both have a lot and we're going to guess. You can also submit your own lot if you are part of our Discord. You can get that link in my Twitter bio at Retrologic.games. So, that being said, let's jump into our first round. John, why don't you go first this time? And I will guess.
All right. First game on the list, Super Monkey Ball 2 for the GameCube, complete.
Okay.
Second game, Sonic Adventure 2 for the Dreamcast, complete. Game 3.
Not sure about that one.
Phantasy Star 4, loose for the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
Game number 4. Nights into Dreams. I believe Dreamcast, or is this
Saturn?
Saturn. That's right, Saturn.
Yeah, because it had that funky controller.
That's right. Now this isn't the one that comes with the controller. This is just the complete game.
Gosh, that one could be. I'm gonna go ahead and just put a big fat number down because I have a feeling. I just have a feeling about it. Okay, so let me just add this up real quick. 210, 235. No, wait. 335, sorry. 335 is my guess.
All right, we should have stayed with the first one. It was 218.
That wasn't too far off, though.
So you said 210, and I was like, oh, whoa. It's like right on it. And then you bumped her up.
So what did you say? What was
218 was the lot value.
Oh, 18, not 80. Okay. Well, that's...
218.
Okay. You freaked me out last week, John. That's why I went high, because you were like Link and the freaking CDI game, and I'm like,
well, I did some normal games. I just had a Sega theme to kind of go with our Retro Rewind this week.
Yes. Oh, we haven't released that yet. We don't know.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying it could possibly have something to do with what I'm talking about.
It might. It may have something to do with Sega and a certain rodent.
It's possible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So that's disappointing. Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and do mine. I have a feeling mine's going to be a little tricky, so
yeah, go for it.
We'll see how you do. We've got Turtles 3 Manhattan Project for the NES, loose cartridge.
Okay.
TMNT Hyperstone Heist for the Sega Genesis, complete in box. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters for the NES, loose. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Double Pack for the Game Boy Advance, loose cartridge.
The Double Pack loose. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
It's one cartridge with multiple games on it.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay. I'm going to say 260.
Okay. My lot is worth $346. $346. And
Alrighty.
Two of these games surprised me with their prices.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to be a little surprised because I think I know the approximate value of two of them. The other two were kind of guessing territory for me.
Right.
Okay, so based on the totals, Dan, you were off by $117, and I was off by $86. So that makes me the winner for this week.
Shit, I could have done quick math and figured it out, but that's... I thought I had you with this Turtles one, but you... I have no idea what two of those games on yours were worth, and they're probably... They totally stumped me.
Yeah, I think you shot a little high, and then I shot a little low, so...
Yeah.
It's alright. It's part of the game.
Alright. So go ahead and do your lot values.
Alright, so... First game on my list is Super Monkey Ball 2 for the GameCube complete is $33. The second game is Sonic Adventure 2 for the Dreamcast complete. That is $70 right now.
Yeah, I wasn't too far off with those.
The third game is... Huh? Oh, yeah, that one's... So the third game is Phantasy Star 4 for the Sega Genesis Loose is $50.
Okay, I went pretty high on that one.
And Nights into Dreams for the Sega Saturn complete is $65. Like I said, this is the one without the controller. The one with the controller is like almost a $200 game.
I guessed 150 on Saturn's on Nights into Dreams.
Well, it's because anything on Saturn is usually over $100.
Everything on Saturn is crazy expensive. Apparently not Nights into Dreams though, so thanks Sega.
Which is funny because on GameStop, one of the few retro games left is Daytona, the NASCAR game for Saturn. Guess how much they want for that? This is just your Joe Blow.
$100.
$100, yeah. They want $100 for a NASCAR game.
That was a total guess, by the way, but I saw where you were going with it, so
exactly.
I guessed high.
I led you right in. But yeah, it's a NASCAR game that was like a 1999 Daytona 500 game that they make every year. It's like a sports game for the Saturn, and it's $100.
But that's why it's still sitting there, because nobody wants it.
Exactly.
You pay for that.
But you can get Nights into Dreams for $65 in the case.
Well, I kind of just want to get that. I bet that was one of the better selling Sega Saturn games, though, so that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, there's probably more out there.
I could have been smarter. I could have been smarter with how I guessed. I also way overshot Phantasy Star 4 because I will tell you what my lot is. So, Turtles 3 Manhattan Project for the NES Loose is a $27 game. Pretty standard.
Yep.
Hyperstone Heist for the Sega Genesis complete shocked me at $171.
Yeah, I was thinking $120, but
the cartridge by itself is only like $60, and a complete game, even though Sega Genesis, which like you're way more likely to get a box Sega Genesis game than you are to get a Super Nintendo game, $171. So I think I was primed for expensive Genesis games when you told me about Phantasy Star.
Yep.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters for the NES, which did not sell well at all because it launched alongside the Super Nintendo game.
Yep.
$128 cartridge for that one.
That's where I went a little low on that one. I was thinking like $50-$60.
Yeah, I was shocked by that one too. And then Turtles Double Pack on Game Boy Advance Loose is $20.
Yeah. I didn't figure that one was very high. That was another one that I didn't know, but I was thinking like $10-$15.
Right now, almost anything you slap Turtles on is pretty expensive, or a little more expensive than you think it would be.
Yep. Those GameCube games are getting hard to get now.
Yeah, they're like $20, $30, $40 now.
Yeah, they were at GameStop when I bought a couple of them for like $5. Like they couldn't give them away. This is when they still had them at GameStop.
Jeez. Ridiculous. Awesome. Well, that's crazy, how we play Prices Retro. If you want to submit your own list to us and we will guess it and value it, go ahead and jump in with our Discord. You can find that on my Twitter bio at Retrologic.games. Go to my bio, click the Discord link, and you're in. Just be friendly because we try to keep the place non-toxic. And go ahead and you can just let me know, like, hey, I want to submit a thing, and I'll give you instructions so that nobody gets spoiled early. And I'll try to do better about my instructions, because last week, poor Chris HL got, bad instructions from me. So
you also get bonus points if you have Plock in your list on the show.
No, and that's not. You don't. There's no points. So there's no bonus points. We're not going to guess the price of Plock every week. All right, so let's jump into our weekly topics. We are going to first talk about crossplay, which I'm really excited to talk about because I get to play Super Metroid. So I'm going to go first this week.
Go for it.
I just jumped off the stream where I'm really, really loving Super Metroid. Thank you for making me play Super Metroid finally, because it is an incredibly fun game. Like, I don't understand how they designed this game to kind of like get you to go where you need to go, and to like, I don't know, you're kind of always looking for secrets. You're primed to constantly be pixel hunting in this game for the next secret. And it's just designed so well, and I'm noticing tons of nods to Metroid Prime, and I'm constantly running into upgrades and new stuff to add to my arsenal. I just got something called the Spazer,
yeah,
which splits your beam into 3 beams, and it totally changed my life, the way I play the game. And it's just, you're running into stuff like that, and it's totally optional. I mean, you don't run into how to get the Spazer like naturally. It's kind of an off the beaten path secret a little bit. So you could go through the whole game and beat it and never get these upgrades. So it feels extra good to find all the secrets and to do all of this. And I mostly have, actually, I don't think that I had to look up anything yet. I'm just running through it blind. And like, I asked for help once or twice so far, but I ended up being able to figure it out on my own anyway. Except for where you get the ice beam. I don't know how familiar you are with this game.
I was watching the last part of that stream while you were doing that.
Were you watching that? Because that was frustrating, dude. I got to where the ice beam is, and there's like a puzzle there that you need the ice beam for. And I'm like, oh, I don't have that yet. I guess I'll go backtrack and figure out where the ice beam is and come back to it. And all the while, chat is like blowing up, like, no, like, go back, go, it's over there, go there. And I'm like, what do? I don't understand. Could not figure it out.
I was the
one,
and
there's just this random
telling you to just jump into the enemies. That's how you beat them.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that. I actually tried that. So luckily I have like 4 energy tanks. So eventually I had to like, everybody in the chat was like, go out the door and bomb the floor and jump down. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So that's the first time that I actually desperately needed and took help in this game. And I felt like such a dummy. I felt like such a stupid dum-dum doing that.
Well, it's that part of the floor is not like, there's nothing solid underneath it. So they expect you to be able to see that. And the question, it's,
if I was paying attention, if I was paying attention, I'd see that where you come in, there's enemies crawling above, and you never get to that point. You just go up the side.
Yep.
So if I was a smart person who was paying attention, like I was the rest of the game, I would have noticed that. But we got there, and I got the ice beam just as I ended the stream. I got the ice beam. I was like, okay, I got the ice beam. Good night, guys. I got to go record a podcast. Oh man, it was crazy.
Isn't it crazy just how much different Super Metroid feels from the original Metroid? It's amazing how they got there.
Oh, it's night and day. And I played original Metroid first. That was my first. You know what I mean? I played. The order in which I played Metroid was kind of weird. Like, I got into it with the Prime series. Then I went back and played the original Metroid on NES. I don't think I've ever played Metroid 2 on Game Boy. I'll have to pick that up at some point because I'm now obsessed with Metroid.
Have you played the remake?
I started it. I'm a couple hours into it on the 3DS.
It's really good.
I love that. That game's amazing.
It is. It's really good. You can get back to that. That one's awesome.
Yeah, once I beat Super Metroid, I'll probably start a new file because I don't even know where I was or what I was doing. And that is like the worst place you can be in a Metroid game.
Yeah, no. If you Metroid games, you have to play from beginning to finish. You can't stop them halfway and expect to know where you're at when you come back.
And I have also played a bit of Fusion. I don't know if I owned it or if I just messed with it at a game store I was working at. But yeah, now I'm like all about jumping into Metroid games that I haven't played yet.
Have you played Zero Mission?
No, but that's just a remake of the original, right?
It is, but it's not just a remake. Like it's one you definitely need to play. Like it's good.
Really?
Okay. Oh yeah. It was the last one. I played.
Is that on the Wii U?
Once. I think so.
Because Fusion is.
I think Fusion and Zero Mission is. But anyway, it was the last one. I bought it again. I owned it a long time ago, and I don't know what happened to it, but it was the last Metroid game I needed to complete my collection. Now I have them all. So I picked up a copy of that a couple weeks ago.
Yep, $8 on the Wii U Virtual Console.
There you go.
Or I can get the cartridge for...
that's about $40. So if you just want to play
Holy shnikes. Oh my god, why is it $40?
That's why.
Get out of here with that.
That's why whenever I seen it for $30, I just snatched it up. I was like, this is a no-brainer.
Game Boy Advance games, man. Sheesh.
Yeah, they're kind of good.
All right.
I think it's just that era. Again, this kind of goes back to when I was saying that I think it's that generation's turn that they're all buying their own games now. Because GameCube and Game Boy Advance, same time period.
I mean, ironically, I would much rather have the Game Boy Advance version for the sole reason that it's portable.
Yeah.
That's like,
your Wii
that's how I play
portable. You might make it to your bathroom.
That's how I play games right now. Not from my garage. So anyway, that's just, we went on quite a tangent there because Metroid. I love Super Metroid. I'm obsessed with it, and I'm mad at myself for never having picked it up as a kid, for never having played it as an adult until now. I'm gonna beat it. I have to now. I'm like sucked into it.
Good.
So that's my update on Super Metroid. How is Excitebike going, John?
Again, not so exciting. So I played. I think I put another half hour or so, 45 minutes into the second mode where you race the other bikes, but it's not really you're not really racing the other bikes. Like it's still just a time trial. They're more or less just obstacles that are in the way of you trying to complete the time trial on time.
Sure.
So yeah, again, not as fun. I played the same 5 tracks that I played on the other version of it. So I think I'm done with Excitebike. And I'm going to move on to some of the other games in the series. I might even try to hop on and stream some of Excite Truck maybe tomorrow or something. But
I wish that was online because I would jump in with you. I love Excite Truck.
So I've been trying to find Excitebike 64 and I cannot find it anywhere. I've seen some copies on eBay, but they're like going for way more than what the game is valued at. So I've been kind of
it's like a $10 game.
Oh yeah, they're all like $14-15 right now. So I was kind of holding off. I might end up just snatching one. I don't know yet, but I checked all my local game stores. I cannot find just a copy anywhere where I can just grab it and play it, because I know if I buy it on eBay, I might not see it by the end of the month. So I was trying to avoid that if I could. But
and all those, that's the thing. It's a Nintendo first party game, and even though it's like a sports game, like it doesn't have the charm of the original Excitebike or of Excite Truck. So, it's just kind of
motocross.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. But it is still Nintendo first party, so it's not a $2 sports game.
Yeah. And I'll get it eventually. I don't know that I'll get it in time to finish out the month and play it, but if I do find a copy and I do get it, then I will definitely try to play some, and I might try to stream that too. But I'll try to get a stream going of Excite Truck, because I can stream that pretty easily on my Wii. So
yeah, I'm seeing some copies for $9 plus shipping on Mercari, but that's not really worth it. I mean, oh, here's a boxed copy for $30. Anyway, not to get into Excitebike 64 too much, but here's my question for you about Excitebike, because you obviously you are unimpressed.
Yes.
It still seems to be not heralded so much, but just kind of accepted as one of like the great NES black box experiences. It's not obscure. It's very well known. So
and it's also very straightforward. And if I would have been playing this game alongside other black box titles, I would probably say, yeah, this game is awesome. It's definitely way better than like Karate or I don't know. It's better than Karate.
Okay.
But I mean, I'd probably be playing this and pro wrestling for sure. I played a lot of pro wrestling and tennis and golf, but
okay.
I never played baseball. But it's definitely, like I said, product of the time.
What year did this come out? Okay, 19. Oh no, that is not the North American date. Hold on, let's get the North American date.
Let's say for the arcade, this would have been like 83, 84, right?
No. Oh, okay. Here we go. So, North American release is 85. It launched with the NES basically because it was it's one of the black box games. Mm-hmm. So I guess if you do like a gambit of all the black box games, it's probably one of the best games, you know? I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, versus a lot of the other black box titles, it would have been a winner. But if this game would have came out like in 1986 or 87, like with Zelda or something, somebody would have.
Yeah.
Like
I guess that's the thing is we are looking at this game in total hindsight. Like, oh, why would you ever play Excitebike now when there's a million great NES games to play? But
exactly.
When the NES launched and it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 games, 13 games, like volleyball. Was Balloon Fight even a black box game?
Balloon Fight was not a black box game, I don't think.
Yeah,
but it was early.
So these are your choices, and Excitebike is like I wouldn't be mad at anyone for making Excitebike the #1 black box game, like the best black box game.
Way better than Gyromite.
That's debatable, but yeah, I hear you. Is it 2-player? Is Excitebike 2-player simultaneous?
I don't think so. Not on the NES.
Oh. Okay.
You could play a 2-player mode on the disk drive system, the Famicom disk. The NES didn't have the memory for it, I don't think. You also could
versus Excitebike in the arcade was. Yeah.
Yep. So you also don't have the memory to save tracks you create on the NES. You can play them for that time period, and then when you turn the game off, they're gone.
Right.
So
yeah, it seems like hindsight's 2020 with that one, because at the time you're comparing. What else are you comparing it to? Like Atari games. So of course it's amazing.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I'm looking at it. But
that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's fun, and I played it for the amount of time that I could put into it, you know, in one sitting. When I was a kid, I could probably blast through this thing, you know, play it for an hour every day and have more fun with it. But as an adult, it's not as captivating as Super Metroid.
What I want to hear from the community on this one. If you're listening to this podcast and you are in your 40s and you played, or whatever, late 30s, 40s, you played you like got an NES at launch and you got Excite Bike and Clue Land and Volleyball. Like, what were your memories of that time? And is Excite Bike like just that good of a game compared to the other Blackbox games? That's my big question, is like, what was it like to be that kid and to be like, no, I'm going to play Excite Bike because that's the best game, you know?
What if it was the only game you got?
Yeah, I mean, that's true too. Not a lot of choices. And if you're a kid and your parents are like, no, you're getting one game, what do you want? You know, like,
still better,
I don't know.
Still better than getting Ghosts and Goblins as your only game.
Yeah. Let's do a little bit of this day in gaming history. John, you didn't put your game in the notes, did you?
I did not, but I have it pulled up.
Do you have it in front of you? Why don't you go first?
So, I just wanted to do a quick mention, even though this anniversary is for the Japanese arcade version of Bomberman Panic Bomber, which is a Tetris-style Bomberman game. It's a puzzle game. I actually own the port that was ported to the Virtual Boy, and it's a pretty competent puzzle game. Other than the fact that on the Virtual Boy you only get a couple color patterns because they couldn't only do one color on the Virtual Boy. Where if you look at this screenshots of this game on arcade or anywhere else where it was ported, it's a very colorful. You know, they have every color of Bomberman on the game in it.
That is hilarious.
The version I have, you get red Bomberman, black Bomberman, or like a red outline Bomberman.
That is too funny.
But it's still fun, and I think I've made it. I can't remember how many levels I made it in, but it gets pretty difficult. It's just like works pretty similar to Tetris, or where the blocks start, or the Bomberman start coming down faster, and you have to figure out patterns a little quicker. But it's definitely it was pretty fun, and I like Bomberman, so it hit the right place for me. It's definitely worth a mention.
Did it take advantage of the 3D at all in the Virtual Boy version?
Kinda. I mean, the animations of the little Bomberman guy beside you is kind of cool in the 3D version. It's not really 3D, but just how it works with the double ends.
It is. It's just weird.
Yeah, definitely. It's not the best. Like, if you're playing Virtual Boy for the first time, this is not the game you want to play. You definitely want to play like Mario Tennis or Teleroboxer for the 3D effect.
Right.
This was just kind of cool that it even made it. Like, I don't know why this even was a thing, but I don't know. It was cool, and I couldn't help but pick it up. Yeah,
I mean, if you have a Virtual Boy, there's a small selection of games. You better get some good stuff on there. If you're gonna,
and I don't want to put your eyes in that thing. Fork over for Waterworld either. So this is where I landed. Yeah, it's like $140 game.
Nope. No, thank you. That's as much as a Virtual Boy.
A polished turd at that.
So yeah. So my game for this day in gaming history is 10 years ago today, launched on January 18th, 2011, is the DS port of Plants vs. Zombies. I love real-time strategy games. I love them. And Plants vs. Zombies is probably, if not one of the most dumbed down real-time strategy experiences that you can play. And I didn't care. I didn't care that it was lanes of StarCraft for kids. It was it was charming. The animations were great, and the DS version was pretty solid. I mean, you had the touchscreen compatibility, and that's all you really needed. So, I don't have a lot to say about Plants vs. Zombies other than it's amazing, and we need a new real version of Plants vs. Zombies and not the like a mobile monetized weird port of Plants vs. Zombies. I would love a touchscreen compatible Switch version. Just port the original mobile game to Switch and I would buy it. I would spend money on that. So yeah, not a lot to say there other than Plants vs. Zombies. And yes, I do consider that retro because the DS is no longer in stores. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So,
the DS is 2 cycles back now. It's retro.
Yeah, I guess you're right. With the 3DS is pretty much nail in the coffin at this point. So, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we've got tons of community content to get through, and then we're gonna reveal February's Retro Rewind game, and we'll explain all about what Retro Rewind is. So make sure you stay tuned to the podcast that you are currently listening to. See you in a second. Welcome back. We've got quite the community surrounding us here at Retrologic. The Discord community is non-toxic, it is friendly, it is fun. We are always chatting about our halls and our walls of games and Plock, and I love you guys. So we had an interesting question brought up in our Discord this week by the one and only Spider Shan. And I thought we could talk about it on the show and get some of the other community reactions to it. So, Spider Shan says, I'd love to have or hear a conversation here or on the show about the best ways to play retro games in modern times. Obviously, I'd love to use original hardware, but that gets more and more difficult over time as it wears out and becomes harder to find. That is a very big question with multiple answers and facets to it. I think I speak for John too when I say that original hardware will always be the best way to play it.
Oh yeah, if it's available.
Yeah, if it's available and affordable. Yeah, money notwithstanding. Always go for original hardware. I just feel like there's just some magic to the authenticity of the controller, getting a version of the game that's like untainted by digital code or unupresed, or you know what I mean? Like,
and you're playing the game how it was designed to be played.
You're playing it how it was designed to be played, and a lot of that, even down to like how they programmed NES games to look on a CRT. You play Super Mario Brothers on like a modern TV on your Switch, and you can basically see every pixel. And it doesn't look like Mario, it looks like a weird robot guy. But you like slightly blur the image, and suddenly you like see Mario with his giant nose and his mustache, and you understand like why they made things, they made things look the way they do, and why things look weird when you like up-res them. So that's, as somebody who collects vintage video games, that's my answer. That's not the answer for everyone, and I understand that. And that's why Nintendo Switch Online exists, and that's why Virtual Console exists, because there are people who don't want to have a wall of games that they have to pick through, and they don't want to have to maintain old hardware to like play these games. So it's a totally valid request. So why don't we read some of these? Or John, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I try to do original hardware when I can. Like, obviously, there's some things that you can't get on the original hardware, be it price, being a barrier, or
gotcha force. Ugh.
Yeah, or you just don't have the hardware and you can't find one. Like, I'd love to have a Game Gear, but even just like, it's not even money at that point. It's just buying one knowing that you have like a 50-50 chance of it not even working anymore.
Yeah, those things don't.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's things, and, you know, I kind of wish that we would see more collections and things come out, because I think that the developers and the publishers know that it, you know, it's money just sitting out there waiting to be made. Just for some reason, we don't get as many as, you know, kind of figure we would by now. You get handfuls here and there, but even then,
and a lot of
they're mocked up versions of the original playing experience to me. But I mean, that's the second best way to do it, is to get it through the original developer or publisher, you know, just in a newer collection.
Yeah. I mean, I'm playing Super Metroid from Nintendo Switch Online. I don't own the cartridge. Now I want to try to pick it up because it's become one of my favorite games. But I don't feel like I'm having necessarily like a lesser experience playing it this way. But it does, because of the way that I play games and the way that I collect, it does make me very curious about, okay, now what would this look like on a CRT on original hardware with a real Super Nintendo controller? And I mean, as close as Nintendo got with the Nintendo Switch Online Super Nintendo controllers, and they do feel great, still not an original, still not my Super Nintendo controller. And there is a difference. So let's read some of these community responses and have a little discussion here. So Adrock in our Discord says, I wish I could say Nintendo Switch Online, but the selection is so small. I think technically speaking, it's the best method of playing for convenience purposes, but the library is just not there. And that's a little bit what you were talking about, John, where this service is Nintendo run. And so they are very limited as to what they can offer, like a third-party publisher to get their games on Nintendo Switch Online.
There's lots of licensing limbo out there right now.
Yeah, tons of licensing in limbo. And that's another reason to go original, is sometimes you're just never going to see a game re-released, either because it's sold poorly originally or because it's stuck in licensing hell, like it's a Ninja Turtles game or something. Andros on our Discord says, I think original hardware is the way to go. But yeah, as that becomes more difficult to do, my preference is to have a port of it on the latest system. My dream is that they release a classic mini version of each console, but one that has the ability to play old cartridges as well as the virtual console of some sort, so you can buy digitally as well. Oh man, an SNES Classic with an online store would be a dream. That'd be awesome.
But
I would spend.
I think you'd be limited to the games that Nintendo could get licensing for.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the best we ever had was the Wii Virtual Console, which had so many games from all publishers, Sega Genesis games. You know what I mean?
That was before
TurboGrafx games.
Yeah, before they realized they could make money putting out collections and stop giving Nintendo the license to put their games on their shop.
Yeah. So what Andros is proposing sounds amazing. I don't know that that's possible now that companies want to release their own collections and make their own money. Third Strongest Mole, our buddy Sam says, personally, I don't see the need for classic systems. I'd rather have everything play on one set of hardware. Nintendo Switch Online seems like the best way to me, but Nintendo seems complacent about their selection. And this might be a hot take, but I think all the individualized re-releases are more a curse than a blessing. I think the reason so few games came to NSO is because rights holders would rather sit on their IP until they have a chance to resell old games. Yeah, he's totally right there. He also had another comment. He says, not sure what the future of games currently is on NSO, but I assume anything that goes on there stays there until they discontinue the service, which would likely be at least 5 years after the Switch becomes obsolete. That's quite some time to commit your game to being on a service. So he's saying he agrees with Adam that Nintendo Switch Online is a great service, it just doesn't. The games aren't there. So
there's no rotation or anything. So
yeah, and it's also a scary thing to think that like, oh, like I could play Super Metroid on NSO right now, but in 10 years I'm not going to be able to do that. And how is Nintendo going to have Super Metroid available to me then? You know, are they going to continue the NSO games onto the next system and just keep adding to it? Because I'd be down for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that I could buy the cartridge and maintain it and keep it, and that would work forever, or not forever, but longer than Nintendo Switch Online would. Longer than the Virtual Console lasted.
Probably longer than we'll be alive.
Yeah, maybe. Jason Lee says, I do think NSO is the best option if they'd only put more games on it on a more frequent basis. I still have dreams of playing N64 games on it with the optional N64 controller sold by Nintendo. Jason, you took the words right out of my mouth. And I think unfortunately, the controller is the reason why we're never going to see N64 games on Nintendo Switch Online. One big reason is the controller. It's just a monster, and they have to contend with that controller, that stick. Here's the scenario. Either they just put the GameCube stick on the N64 and you end up kind of not ruining the controller because the stick itself is not great, but you do lose a bit of the experience doing that. Whereas with your NES and Super NES controllers, you're not losing. It's the same D-pad, same buttons, whatever. Or they try to manufacture and recreate the experience of the original joystick with that controller, and that presents its own problems. Now they have to like remanufacture something and come up with brand new hardware. And I just don't know that. I don't know if they are willing to invest that much R&D into trying to make the N64 controller stick work.
They've had a lot
N64 is one of those examples where it is 1,000% best played with a good controller on original hardware. Always.
I was gonna say that you would think they would be able to do this a lot easier with 25 plus years of experience with control sticks, but we still have issues with Switch control sticks, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Experience would make the N64 stick better.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind having the GameCube stick on an N64 controller. They already kind of have that with the fighter. I forget what it's called.
The Brawler. This guy.
Brawler. Yeah. Right. That's more of a GameCube style stick, right?
Yeah, it is, and it has it still has the octagonal gate, so it plays N64 games pretty well. You just have to get used to it because the throw is less. It's a shorter stick, but other than that, you can get used to it.
And that's where I'm talking. I feel like the N64 stick has way more resistance than any of the sticks we have now. So if you modernize that stick, you lose a little bit of the experience.
For sure.
And they might not care. They may just do it because I'm an authentic. I'm a guy who likes it authentic, and I'm not the majority. So
they had to bring back everything for the NES and the Super Nintendo controller. They weren't producing those anymore.
Yeah, but those are way easier to produce. It's just buttons. Even the D-pad is just 4 buttons. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like the stick would be the only thing like we've been talking about. Everything else on the N64 would be easy peasy.
Yeah. But and don't get me wrong, I would love for them to do it. I just don't see it happening.
Or be ready for a $50 price tag or more for just one.
Yeah. Also, Rumble. Like, are you going to incorporate Rumble, or are you going to have? It's just it's a whole thing.
Well, and I mean, for N64, none of the games actually had to have Rumble to play. So I mean, it was optional.
No, but Star Fox is way better with Rumble.
Yeah. I don't know. With the N64, I wasn't a fan of the Rumble because it was battery operated and so heavy. It really made the controller really awkward, like heavy on the backside where it didn't need weight.
I disagree. I disagree with you. I love it. But I'm also obsessed with Star Fox, so.
That could be why.
Spider Shan comes in and says, the problem I find with the NSO or even modern solutions is that most licensed games will not return, like we were saying. I think of all the good remaining games people want in the NES Online, most are licensed. DuckTales, TMNT, Back to the Future. Okay, not that one, but you get the point. And will most certainly never get a chance to get put there. Same with the SNES games. That means I need to play using original carts and hardware. And then Chris HL comes in and says, I guess I'll be the bad guy and bring up the dirty word, emulation. Yeah, emulation's not a dirty word necessarily. I have emulated before when price tags are are astronomical and games are out of my reach that way and there's no other way to play it. I wouldn't say I feel entitled to be able to play it, but if you're not going to offer me a way to play it, then I don't have a lot of other choices. So what am I going to do? Not play Gotcha Force? So, yeah, I don't condone emulation in general. I can't think of a much better way to play games that are just unavailable, period. There's not.
I mean, look at Scott Pilgrim. Here until recently, you couldn't play that game. It just didn't exist anywhere. You either had it downloaded on your Xbox 360 or PS3, or you couldn't play it. They weren't selling it. They weren't. I mean, you had literally no way to play it.
So that was a great discussion that we had in our Discord that I wanted to share with you guys. If you have a response to this or you want to chat about it, you can hit me up on Twitter at Retrologic.games, or you can jump into the Discord and chat with these fine folks too. I would love to hear what you think about the best way to play modern games. I mean, retro games in modern times. So we have this event every Thursday, this little mini event in our Discord community we call it Throwback Thursdays, not an original name, but I couldn't think of a better name for it, where we kind of we each highlight a game and then we tell kind of a little mini story about that game. And I thought I would highlight one of those each episode, kind of bring it to you guys and just to kind of highlight the community and also tell a cool story and maybe bring up a game you hadn't thought of in 25 years. So this week's Throwback Thursday game. What day is it? Throwback Thursday game is brought to us by Eric Plunk in our Discord. He says, growing up, I loved the old black and white Popeye cartoons, as well as the Robin Williams movie. My dad copied a rental VHS of Popeye, so we watched it often. Don't do that. That's illegal. I don't know whatever. My affinity for the character combined with the fun arcade gameplay made Popeye on the NES one of my most rented games. I even recently won a $25 in-store credit at the local game shop for getting the high score. I've never played this game. You have any experience with this Popeye game on the NES?
I have not played it either. So we're kind of not the ones that talk about Popeye, I guess.
Yeah, I guess not. But I'm glad Eric's here to cover for us. So thanks, Eric, for your submission to Throwback Thursday. I will see you guys in Discord. And again, if you want to jump into that, link in the bio of my Twitter.
And I guess we're going to check Popeye out now.
Yeah, right. The box looked like a black box.
It is.
But I know it's not.
Well, it's a black box in look. It's not a
it is a black box
game.
But right. Just very interesting. Oh, I can't find a picture of the box real quick. Anyway. So, John, let's chat about Retro Rewind. The new segment that we are privileged to take over for the Nintendo Dads community. If you're listening to us from the Nintendo Dads community, welcome to Retrologic. We hope that you are having a great time listening to us chat about old crap. So here is how Retro Rewind is going to work on Retrologic. Either you're coming to us from the Nintendo Dads community, and we already have a channel there for Retro Rewind, and that's where all of our chat's going to be, or you're digging deeper, or you're already a member of the Retrologic Discord community, in which case we have our own channel there for you to chat with. And if you want to cross-pollinate, you're listening to us from Retrologic and you want to hop over to Nintendo Dads, they have an awesome Patreon system. For $1, you get access to all of their to most of their Discord stuff. And if you're coming to us from the Nintendo Dad side, our Discord is free. Just a few members right now, but we are active and we're growing, and we would love to have you.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think the Nintendo Dads have a free area of their Discord. It's just very limited. Yes. It's very limited. So if you wanted to go check it out. It's basically
their lobby.
Yeah, if you wanted to check it out, you could do the free access, and then just know that everything you get for $1 is way better.
Yeah, and honestly, it's $1, and they're great guys, and it's totally worth being part of that community. And it is not just men, so don't let that stop you.
Or dads.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not just dads, not just men. They are the Nintendo Dads, and then whatever. The Retro Rewind part of the Nintendo Dads community is locked behind their Patreon. So however you want to experience this with us, please do. It is super fun, and I can't wait to talk about it. So what this is a community-focused book club style monthly event. What we're going to do is before the beginning of every month, we're going to choose a game. Either John and I are going to choose it, or we're going to do like a community vote on a few games to see what you guys want to play. We're going to go back and forth on it because I feel like there are advantages to both. And we're all going to play that game that month. And we're going to chat about the game throughout the month. And then this has been undecided, but either John and I and a few other guests are going to record a standalone Retro Rewind podcast at the end of the month to kind of conclude that month and choose the next game. Or we're just going to keep it as part of our rotation. Undecided on that yet. So if you have an opinion one way or the other, I'd love to hear it, and we will let you know how that goes. But we're starting fresh in February with Retrologic and Retro Rewind with, drumroll please, Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis.
Woohoo!
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to do something distinctly not Nintendo, since Retro Rewind has been very Nintendo focused for pretty much its whole existence, being part of the Nintendo Dads stuff. And this game is available everywhere and anywhere. They throw this game on everything possible. I'm going to list a ton of the ways that you can play this game right now. It is on the Switch and the PS4 and the Xbox on the Sega Genesis collection. It's also a Sega Ages game, so if you don't want to spend the $15, because it's on sale right now, the Genesis collection, it's 50 games, and I highly, highly recommend getting it. But if you don't want to spend that much, you can spend $8 or $5 if it's on sale for the Sega Ages version and just get Sonic the Hedgehog. And that's on Switch, PS4, and Xbox. That's also available for free on iOS and Google Play, and it's a pretty good version. And you just, either you get a Bluetooth controller or you use touch controls and you can play it there. It's on your 3DS as the Sonic the Hedgehog 3D game on the eShop. It is inexplicably not available on the Wii U as far as I can tell. There's no Sonic collection. There's no virtual console. It just isn't there. So I don't know. You can't buy it on the Wii Virtual Console because that's dead. But if you have it downloaded already, then do that. On PS3 and Xbox 360, we had Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. On GameCube, Xbox, PS2, and PC, you had the Sonic Mega Collection. And then going all the way back you could just play it on your Sega Genesis with the cartridge.
Or your Sega Genesis Classic.
Or I had that on this list and I totally skipped it. Or the Sega Genesis Classic, which is also a really great way to play it. There's no wrong way to play Sonic the Hedgehog. Really. Also, I'm going to be doing a giveaway on Twitter at Retrologic.games for the Sega Ages version of Sonic the Hedgehog for Nintendo Switch. So, if you would like to get one for free and play it on your Switch, you can follow me on Twitter, and it'll be a giveaway that I'm doing, and I'll be tweeting about it throughout the week. And then on Friday, we'll choose a winner. And that is more than enough time before we actually kick off February to pick up this game. So,
are we going to do Genesis chili dog giveaways for Sonic?
No, I don't want to mail those out. So go get your own chili dogs. So that's that. Do you have anything to add, John? Anything?
Not other than Sonic is probably one of the best games on Genesis for, especially for somebody just picking up a game and wanting to play, because it's pretty quick play sessions. So I don't know, it's really fun.
Pun intended. Quick play sessions.
Yes, exactly. Fast. Got to go fast.
Gotta go fast. I'll talk more about my experience, my history with Sonic the Hedgehog as we get into Retro Rewind. But I want to thank everyone for picking up the game and playing with us. It's going to be super fun. I'm hype about it, and I hope you are too. And that's just that's got about to do it for this episode of Retrologic. John, do you have anything else you want to say or do or sing?
No, not that I can think of. Go buy some retro collections while they're on sale. All of the Konami collections are on sale. I think there was another one that was on sale here recently too, but
are all the Capcom ones on sale?
Mega Man collections. That's what I was going to say.
Mega Man
collections are like $5 or $10 off right now.
Yeah. I picked up the Castlevania collection and the Contra collection because they were $5 each, and I'm like, no, these are great games. I want them, so I'm going to get them.
The arcade one's pretty good too.
Yes. The Sega Genesis collection is only $15 right now, and it's 50 games, and a lot of them are really good, and a lot of them are also not very good. But you're going to get at least 15 great games in that collection. So what, $1 a game for Sega Genesis collection? Totally worth it. Totes my goats. And I think okay, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that you can plug in your Genesis Classic USB controller to your Switch.
If you have the 8-bit universal USB plug, you can plug any Bluetooth controller into it and it works. So I imagine...
Oh, it's not Bluetooth. It's just a straight USB. So
is it just a USB? Yeah, you should be able to then.
I'm going to try it out and let y'all know.
There you go.
So, that being said, thanks for listening to the Retrologic podcast. If you like what you hear, you can check me out on Twitter at Retrologic.games. You're also welcome to jump into our friendly and 100% non-toxic Discord community. The link to that is in my Twitter bio. You can find all of the Retrologic stuff, including the game store and the link to the Discord and Twitter stuff and everything we're doing at the website Retrologic.games. So, with that being said, thanks for listening, and we will catch y'all on the flip side.
See you guys later.